So we're on the second page of our work on nominal clauses. So now we're going to take a look at the other way a noun clause or a nominal clause may begin. It may begin with what we call an interrogative. So an interrogative is a question word. And so I had listed them for you here. And so unlike the expletive, the interrogative actually plays a grammatical role in the actual clause. And I put a little asterisk here. I hope that you can see that. And I put that there because there are two exceptions to that rule. So down here it says, hey, the word if and whether or not are the only interrogatives that don't serve a role in the sentence. So they're actually going to be expletives. What that means is if and whether or not are going to be treated just like the word that. We're going to float them. But what I mean by the rest of these notes is an interrogative actually is going to play a part of the actual clause. It actually does a job for the clause. So I think it's important for us to actually understand what that means. So I didn't give a whole lot of space on my notes, and I don't know why I never kind of differentiate this for you. So I'm going to do that right now for you. So hopefully you're going to follow along and take some good notes. I'm going to use my colors here. So what I mean by this is, Jeffrey, let's do this. Over here, I'm going to make some notes. Maybe you'll do the same thing on yours. I want you to write down the sentence, the thing that says noun. All right. I know it's the worst teaching ever. So these guys in yellow are going to be treated as nouns. All right. So make us a little listing for yourself. Who, whom, whoever, whomever, what, and whatever are all going to be nouns. All going to be nouns for us. All right. Next thing is what we have, I want to treat as an adverb. And I'm going to make those guys pink. So I want you to note that how, where, wherever, why are always going to be looked at as being adverbs. And lastly, an adjective. And let's make our adjectives orange. And I want you to notice that whose and which are going to be our adjectives. So that's important because when we get into diagramming, we have to realize that when we come across these interrogatives, they have to fit somewhere in the actual diagram. And I want you to remember that those that are in yellow are actually going to look like nouns. Those that are in pink or purple, whatever color this is, are going to be looked at as being adverbs, and those in orange are going to be looked at as being adjectives. The exceptions are if and whether, or whether or not, and the word that. In this case, as we look at if and whether or not, they're interrogatives, but they don't serve a purpose, so we're going to float them. All right, so let's take a look at these three examples we have. It says, where I'm going is none of your business. So here's our noun or our nominal clause. Starts off with the word where, is an interrogative, and it has both a subject and a verb. I am going. And so together, this whole thing actually serves as the subject of the verb is. What is none of your business? Where I'm going. Or I could say, in art class, we talked about how Jackson Pollock created his paintings. Well, here is my nominal clause. Starts off with the word how, which is one of my interrogatives. Has a subject, Jackson Pollock. Has a verb, created. So it has a clause, but it actually serves as the object, the preposition. Because the preposition about is looking for its noun. And so this whole thing becomes the object, the preposition. Lastly, it says, I wondered what my friends had planned for my birthday party. Well, here is our noun or a nominal clause. Starts off the interrogative what, has a subject, friends, has a verb, had planned. So it's a clause. It's a nominal clause because it's actually serving as the direct object. I wondered, and then here's this what we're wondering. So these are examples of our nominal clauses that start with an interrogative. Let's diagram this first one together, and then I'll pause my video and then restart and take a look at the other two. All right, so see if we can squeeze a couple of these diagrams in the white space below on your worksheet. So here we go. So let's take on where I'm going is none of your business. So once again, I realize this noun or nominal clause starts the sentence, so he must be the subject, which means I'm going to anticipate that my noun clause is going to be the subject of my sentence. My sentence is sitting way down here. As I said, I like building that first. My verb is, and then it is none none of business. Your business. And if I said that is none of your business or this is none of your business, you put that word like that or this as your subject. Now, instead of having one single word as a subject, I have this entire noun clause as my subject. So, change my color. My verb is am going. And this is when I find it's really valuable to start with the verb. So I'm going to start with that verb, am going, extend my line a little bit. Then I can go backwards. My subject's in front of it, which is the word I. And now I'm left with the word where. If I go back to my notes that I just wrote down, I made a note that the word where is always going to be treated like an adverb. It's an interrogative, but I'm going to treat it like an adverb. So remember, these words don't float like the word that. These words are going to have to fit into this diagram, and they're going to have to fit into this structure up here, because this is my noun clause. So therefore, the word where has to touch one of these words. Where is an adverb, tells us where I'm going, so I'm going to put the word where like an adverb would. Let's change our color. And that's where it sits. So once again, these interrogatives have to fit somewhere in the actual noun clause structure. It can't touch this part down here. It's got to touch the noun clause part, and it's got to fit logically. Is it an adverb? Is it an adjective? Or is it a noun? All right, let's pause and restart our video. Take a look at the other two examples.